Welcome back to London Beautiful Life, and today we're at the Time Travel is Dangerous premiere at the Everyman cinema in Muswell Hill. Are you excited about today?
I am. I've already seen the movie, but most of these folks have not. And Time Travel, what's the movie called? Time Travel is Dangerous is so funny. It just got 4 stars from The Guardian. And I just really love it. And I loved it so much that I was like, we got to go publicize this, put me on tour, send me to the mall. So I'm going on a mini mall tour of movie theaters sort of around the country and in Ireland, and trying to spread the word, because obviously it's an independent film. These are not big budgets we're working with, but the movie has such heart. It's so funny, and I just want as many people as possible to see it.
Yeah, what actually drew you to this? Like, what attracted you to want to be a part of it?
Well, Chris, the director, sent me the script, and he also sent me some short films that they had made about 6 years ago, and I watched them, and the short films were so funny, and I was like, who are these 2 women, Ruth and Megan, who star in the film, and they play themselves? And I was like, I don't care what is in the script. I must come do this and be friends with you, the director, and these women. I just knew that I was going to love them. I, of course, did. We get on like nothing you would ever know. But I like to give my little pitch for the movie, which is the movie is about 2 best friends, Ruth and Megan, who go back in time, steal things from whatever time period, bring them back to modern day, and sell those items in their vintage shop here in Muswell Hill. But the kicker is, Ruth and Megan, they themselves, prior to this film, were not actors, and they actually own a vintage shop, and they sell old things that they may or may not have stolen from the past. JK, JK, the time machine does not work yet, but they are so funny, and they have this just deadpan delivery that, I don't know, reminds me of Christopher Guest movies like Waiting for Guffman, the one about the dog, Best in Show. I don't know if you've seen those movies. They're mockumentaries, as is this one. And just the 2 of them on screen it's movie magic. I like to describe it as Bill and Ted meets Romeo and Michelle.
Are you excited about today?
Yes, I mean, we had a cast and crew screening of the film a little while back, at which I was so overexcited I got slightly drunk. So I know no more about the plot now than I did when it was filmed, because it's a melange of excitement. It's an oddity, this film, but what I do remember from the cast and crew screening through a sort of haze of rosé was that Brian, I'm being interviewed, even though I didn't follow every intricacy of it, in all seriousness, it was heartwarming. It seems to be about love and friendship. How they get that into a sort of loony thing about sci-fi travel, I don't know, but they have.
Well, actually, what was your favourite day on set?
Any day with Johnny Vegas in it.
I've met him before. He is so funny.
He's a lovely man. And I'm going to name drop here like a loon, but I was directed 22 years ago in a film by Stephen Fry, who knows Johnny Vegas very well. So I texted Sir Stephen and I said, what's Johnny Vegas like? I'm about to work with him, because on the face of it, I'm 6'11" and he's shorter. And I thought, and he's, frightfully, and I'm a poncy old cow. And so I said, what's he like, Sir Stephen? He wasn't Sir Stephen then. Is Johnny not? And he said, to use a terrible word, he's authentic. Genuine, I think was the word. And Johnny is a delightful man of amazing talents. He's forging a career now as an artist and all sorts. And I'm disappointed he's not here tonight. But any scene with Johnny Vegas in it would be my favourite. Also, though, the girls who are not professional actors like what I'm supposed to be, they're so good, it's annoying.
I think that's because they've got great banter, I heard, so they can banter off each other.
Yes, but also comedy timing they've got, and a sense of good nature, and a sense of warmth and friendship, and that, as I say, is what this film seems to, amazingly, be about.
So working on a comedy film, do you notice the difference of doing something that's comedy compared to like serious stuff that you've worked on? Like, is there more of a high each day? It's like, for example, if you're doing like Holby City, there'll be death a lot of the time on the storyline.
Whenever I'm on, it dies a death. There's a lot of cutting up of rubber bodies before the BBC stupidly cancelled it. Yeah.
I know. How was that? What did you all know it was coming?
Well, at the time I thought, oh, I've done 11 years, it's been wonderful, fantastic to have, let's go and do something else. And I have done lots of other things. But I was so fortunate as an actor to have 52 weeks of the year employment at a very nice wage, thank you, BBC. But I'm still in touch with all the lovely people on Holby, and I'm still working, so can't be that bad.
I remember, I don't know if it was Holby or Casualty, but when I worked at Elstree, we did The Voice Kids, and we kind of shared it with, I think, was it Holby or were they both at Elstree?
Holby was Elstree, yeah.
So it would have been Holby. Just remember seeing all these nurses coming down with fake blood all over them. It was the maddest thing. It was such a surreal, being with all these kids for The Voice Kids, and then all these people with fake blood everywhere. It was so funny.
My favourite moment it's an old-fashioned studio building up there at Elstree, and there's the Fairbanks, named after Douglas Fairbanks Senior Junior, corridor, and all the great and the good wander up and down that corridor. And one day word went about that Freddie Flintoff was there to record one of those quiz things, but he'd had before his recent unfortunate accident, from which he's recovering brilliantly, he'd buggered up his knee or something, and I think all us girlies, we rather like Freddie Flintoff. And I secretly followed him up a corridor, and I coughed loudly behind him, and he turned round and went, the boss. He watched Holby City. I go, marvellous. Lovely man.
Are you excited about today?
Really? Yeah. I mean, I was just saying, the way it started, from the short film, I was like, oh my God, look at that. You girls, this movie, you should make a movie. The way that it's kind of grown over that period of time, and to be here, it's mad. It's kind of like, is this really, or have I got a time machine around the corner?
Yeah, so how did you become a part of it? What drew you to this?
Well, okay. I go to the London Sci-Fi Film Festival every year. That's me. I'm a sci-fi man. I am, sorry, I'm part geek. And while I was there, they have a 48-hour film challenge. And they show about 20 of the top. And then the top 3 win a prize. Anyway, I'm in the audience. And this comes on. 2 girls got signed. Oh, wait a minute. And I know them. Right, I know them. I go, oh, those girls around, they got the shop. I was like... So the next day I went down there and was like, I just saw you lot. It was wicked. What a wicked idea. Vintage shop, goes back in time, nicks a few gear, come back, sell. Smart, baby. Do you know what I mean? And so over the next few years, we just talked about it. I was like, yeah, man, you should make a movie. You should go. And over the time period, it sort of became a thing of, to, okay, let's do it. And thankfully it is. And I think sometimes that's how stories grow. Just what I'm saying, how things actually happen. Very organic, this one, So there was a lot of, and I think because of that, there was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of love, a lot of support in order for it to, for actually doing it. I mean, the actors were great, everybody was great on it. I mean, Ruth and Ian, you notice, because they're friends, they're the glue. Because they're friends, that so comes over. Do you know what I mean? The way that they banter off of each other. And so there's a very genuine heart in this crazy piece, you know? So yeah, man, I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm happy to be a part of it. You know, Chris and them guys, you know, it was the inspiration behind, but no. But the fact that all those things came together the way that they did, bruv, yeah, it's great to be a part of it.
When it comes to comedy films as well, do you ever get an input into, say if you're doing a scene and you're thinking, oh, this isn't actually as funny as I thought it would be. Can you, as an actor, can you change things?
That really depends on the environment. I mean, the higher you go, it's preferable just to put one in the can for the director. This is the way they saw the situation. This is the way it went. Right, that was the page. That's how you got the job. Deliver that. If then they go, look, I'll give you one. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're able to play, then you can play. On this one, we was a mixture of the two. There was a script, there was a blueprint from which to journey to go on, but there was room for whatever came out of the moment as well. Just what I'm saying, I think that's important in terms of the style of film, the way it's actually presented, because it's a kind of fly on the wall. So it kind of goes to that, it kind of moves to that style, do you know what I'm saying? So it's less sort of scripted and more of a flow, you know.
So it's great. It's featured in Muswell Hill. Like, so someone that lives by London, I don't even think about Muswell Hill.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm a Tottenham boy, but this place, I used to take my dad up here and we used to come for lunch, stuff like that. Actually, in fact, I met Johnny Vegas up here one time. Yeah, this was years ago. See? Serendipity, it was meant to be, my darling. It was meant to be.
What was it like working with Johnny and people like Tom?
Fantastic. I mean, I'm a Buffy fan.
Same.
Beat.
I'm on series 7 right now.
Oh, bruv. That and Angel, I mean, major.
We were saying how it's completely like, it's redefined a lot of media.
What was the benchmark? Oh, we've seen so many kind of esque pieces after that, didn't we? But that was the pièce de résistance. I know that Joe's kind of got into some trouble, but the piece itself, you can't take away from that. It was, you know.
What do you think? What do you think about a Buffy reboot? Are you excited about it?
I know. I heard about it. They could have just said, look, Hope, the Vampire Slayer, and then taken it on to a thing. And that way, you can refer to it, but you're not dragging it with you, if you see what I'm saying. Because it was such a iconic moment in the zeitgeist at that time, and it has had a ripple and effect afterwards that if you want to do a fresh thing, you don't want it, just what I'm saying. Anyway, we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it?
I'm really intrigued.
Tom was lovely. It was just crazy. There was a couple of times I'm like, no.
How's it all been? Like, how did the idea get thought up?
So it was. So the idea is it's based on two people, Ruth and Megan, who are playing themselves and really own a real vintage shop in Muswell Hill. So in terms of inspiration, they're the real inspiration behind it. Like they're literally the real people. So when we came on board the project, they'd already kind of started making. They made a short film with Chris. So that was all kind of established. And the thing is, they have a real vintage shop, and the concept is that they use their time machine to go back in the past and steal stuff, sell in their shop. So that was what we kind of came on board with, and that already existed. Yeah. It was crazy.
And they really do own that vintage shop, and it really is in Muswell Hill, and even the name is the same, Cha Cha Cha. But they don't own a time machine in real life.
We don't know. Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. I don't know how they get all their good stuff.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like comedy value, when it came to the casting, who thought of the perfect cast? It's a great cast.
I mean, we got really lucky because us and Chris, we all kind of were like coming up with our wish list, and kind of we reached out to them all, and we got pretty much like our first choices of most of the characters. So it's kind of crazy, and I think once we started getting a couple of people on board, like at first, then it just started snowballing, and then at the end, we got like Stephen Fry to narrate it, and I think like especially as it kind of was growing,
What drew you to this? What attracted you to want to be a part of it?
I got roped into it, which has been a wonderful experience. But it was through meeting Chris Redding through an art department job. We used to do art department, and it just snowballed. But it's not something I looked for, it found me. Yeah.
Were you hesitant about taking part in it, especially if you worked in behind the scenes?
I think it was a bit intimidating working with professional actors. I didn't want to let anybody down or make people look bad, but it was amazing that they acted alongside us, and yeah, no, it was a great experience.
What I love about this as well, it's based in, well, mainly in Muswell Hill. Like, it's so nice to see this part of London, which is never really shown in a lot of films. What do you love about this area?
I love that it feels like a village, but it's Zone 3. There's a lot of wonderful parklands and woodlands, and you can see the city of London from the hill, and it's just a very neighbourly neighbourhood, which is quite rare in London. And I've pretty much lived here since I moved to London, and it feels like my hood.
What would you say was your favourite day on set? And then also, to add on, what would you say is your favourite scene now that you've seen the film?
Wow, that's a tough one. I mean, a lot of the studio filming is quite taxing because you're sort of in smoke environments with no daylight. But I think those were some of the most visually strong scenes. But I guess the best was filming in our shop because it's our space, our happy space, and it's wonderful to have that preserved on film.
Vintage clothing as well. What's your favourite item in your shop?
We do vintage clothing and vintage homeware. My department's vintage homeware, so I mean, everything we have in the shop we love and don't really want to sell. I mean, we're hoarders, so yeah.
Are you excited about tonight?
I am, yeah. We're particularly excited to show Muswell Hill, the film about Muswell Hill. There's lots of people who worked on this film who are here tonight, which is great.
That's what I actually loved about this as well, because Muswell Hill, you don't really see much of it, and it is a part of London. You see all these big blockbuster films, it's like Tower Bridge, mainly, The Shard, Big Ben. So it's lovely to show Muswell Hill. What was it like filming around here?
We love filming around here. We used a lot of locations in and around Muswell Hill and Crouch End and Highgate, and it was really good to make a film where if you're local you can sort of recognise it, and as you say, in big movies you don't see Muswell Hill.
So how did this all become a big project? Because I know you did a short film with the girls, and then that's how Tom became a part of it as well. So was it always intended to be a short film, or did you know it was going to go that grow?
Well, we started off just having fun. I met Ruth and Megan, and I thought they were funny. So we started off just having fun making a short film, and then we sort of did lots of other little sketches. Me and Ruth developed the story and how we'd go to new adventures, and then I met the Shakespeare Sisters, and then we started making it into more of a formal feature script.
When it comes to your favourite scene to the film, what was it?
My favourite scene is on the high street where there's a school minibus that takes off and flies over all the traffic on Muswell Hill High Street.